Hey, welcome back, everybody, to We Do Virtual Events Live. I don't know why I'm speaking so loudly because I think the whole day has been kind of stressful for me, and I'm always looking forward to my We Do Virtual Events Live shows because I know I'll get to hang out with my tribe. With my peeps who kind of get what I'm doing right here, right? So, for some of you who are just tuning in, and if you're wondering what am I watching right now, well, welcome to the show called We Do Virtual Events Live. It is a talk show series featuring trailblazing conversations with global virtual event pathfinders who reimagine the traditional event experience. Boom! And that said, everybody, tonight or today or this morning, wherever you are in the world, really depends. And if you're watching on replay, you're also gonna like pick up different times of the day, right? So in this episode, which is episode 10, what? Already, and we have two more episodes to go. And this episode is all about redefining how virtual events support career development and training. And yes, this is a career development and training panel, and I'm really excited because you know why? We really have an international panel over here. And if you're watching this live on either our main stage live on Crowdcast or in any of our social media platform, please say hello, drop a comment, say hello so I can say hello to you back. I don't know who you are, but I see a Facebook user, so you must be in one of our Facebook groups. So welcome to the show. That said, I just want to give you a sneak peek of who is on this panel, and I will be right back. Okay. All right. We're about to start. So share this out, everybody, and we'll be right back in 10 seconds. All right. I don't know if you're like me. I'm kind of excited for this panel because people think coaches, trainers, we do a lot of the heavy lifting. We kind of help you guys out there, figure out your path or your yellow brick road and yada yada yada. That said, in case you're just tuning in, this is We Do Virtual Events Live, episode 10, redefining how virtual events support career development and training. Hey, can you all just let us know if you're a coach, a career coach especially, or you're a trainer and you actually use virtual events in whatever you do, whether you're delivering your program or whatever, could you just say yes in the comments, whether you're in the live stage or not, or if you're in social media with us? So I'm not going to waste any more time. Are y'all ready? Hi, Adrina. So it is you. She is a great teacher also. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because we're going to have a lot of fun. Here we go. Are you ready for all this 5 energetic people on screen? Because we might combust on fire on screen. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
What's up?
I'm glad we did not catch fire, but we will be on fire. We're gonna be lit. Hi, everybody. Folks, just to let you know, we are missing Dr. Aziza. Don't know where she is right now. Maybe it's a time zone thingy, or we just hope she's doing good, because whenever somebody like last minute, I don't hear anything about them. I'm like, I hope they're okay. We're in very trying times right now. So that said, welcome y'all. Welcome y'all.
Hi, everybody.
I'm kind of happy to see familiar faces who will kind of bring a lot of fun to this panel today. Before we get started, folks, I know you saw a little bit of their intro sneak peek, but I'm going to let them do the 30 seconds around the room. And Jay, would you get us started?
Oh,
She goes like, oh, me? Put you on the spot.
all right. For Malaysia, good morning.
Good morning.
For the rest part of the world, where Zev is,
oh.
where Rajesh is, where you are, where Super Julie is. Okay, good evening. Hey, I'm Jay. I'm a founder of Sexy Events, as in sexy events. So we make events sexier.
Sexier. Don't forget that.
Yeah, okay. Move along.
Amin is also from Malaysia. Good morning. I made them
What's
wake up
up? Good
early.
morning, good
What's
afternoon,
up?
good evening, good night, wherever you guys are. Right? Love to be here. What do is it tonight? How do we say
You
this?
look
Tonight?
like you have you have your curtains in the back. It could be night. For all you know.
Yeah, it could be night. It could be night, whatever, right?
Yes.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pumped to be here. My name is Amin. I am one of the founders of Popcorn, where we help individuals and brands to pop online by building the authority to become business influencers on LinkedIn. That's what we do.
Boom. Boom.
Boom,
See? Straight to the point. Boom.
straight to the point.
SJ in the house.
Hey, everybody. I'm Super Julie Braun. I'm the founder and CEO of Super Purposes. And what we do is we help people get a job in a very short amount of time. Not just get a job, but get the career and salary they deserve.
Boom. Short and sweet. Rochester's in the house. The world traveler, I call him.
Thank you very much, Zeph. My name is Rajesh Tedla. I'm the founder of VRT Management Group. We specialize in helping and scaling small and medium-sized companies. Our whole purpose is how do you take where you are to where you want to go from a business growth perspective through people, process, basically strategy. Those are the three key: transformation and growth. That is how what we do, and we work across people and companies across 28 different countries right now.
Wow.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. So, in case you all have missed my introduction, I don't know if I did one or I mentioned what I do. So, I'm definitely Zavzen. The only reason I call myself definitely is when I started virtual events and live streaming, my viewers gave me the name or the hashtag definitely, and I kind of built it into my brand. That shows, there's a lot of value in showing up on screen and connecting with your audience. That said, I am the creator and founder here at We Do Virtual Events Live, helping you guys virtualize your in-person events and helping you reimagine the traditional event experience. Boom. I wanted to do the show because I know I have a tribe of folks who already have been leveraging virtual events for what they do. Thus, I call them the virtual event pathfinders. Today's show, we're gonna talk all about redefining how virtual events support career development and training. And SJ and I can go all the way, God knows how many years ago we talk about, we have to, use technology and go online and start leveraging online training for coaching and all the other stuff. When we started it, SJ, do you remember people looked at us like we came down from planet Mars?
I do remember that actually. It's funny because I've been working virtually probably for close to 20 years.
Wow.
And when I say that out loud, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's only been since COVID that many people have started to adopt working this way. And, for most of us here, we've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
Whether it's been a couple years or longer. In my case, I've been around the block a lot of times, people.
She ain't no new kid on the block.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight now. No
Yeah.
new kid on the block.
But for a lot of people, this is a new way of being. And Zeph, you were definitely an early adopter.
Thank you. I mean, I had to figure out things really quickly, and I'm glad I found my space. Raj, did you want to say something just now?
Yeah, basically, just like Super Julie, when I was in the corporate world, I was with GE and GE Capital. We've been using that since 2001. I remember when September 11th happened, we were doing a lot of events. I was in Denver. My team was across 4 different states, and we did this in
At that time,
2001, September.
everybody looked at us like deer with headlights. Like, what are you talking about? Who wants to go online and start doing programs and teaching online? Like, who's going to show up? Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, folks, what's going to happen in the first half hour of this show? We're kind of, we have 2 sets of questions. We all take, turns around the room answering the questions. And you get to hear us sometimes we mastermind during this first half hour. The second part of the show, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of crackling up. We're going to be lit. All right. Shall we get started with question number 1? So this is question number 1 to get us started with our conversation. So here's my question to you folks right here on the panel. How can companies or organizations leverage virtual events to support career development and training? I think this is a very important question because sometimes, when we deal with companies, associations, organizations, they don't necessarily have team members who understand delivering online training programs. So, Raj, would you like to get us started?
Yes, basically, one of the biggest advantages this opportunity has provided all of us was is taking most of the workshops are 1 day, 2 day kind of workshops, but thanks to the virtual events and stuff, some organizations could break it down, especially from a career development perspective. If you have 15 people, the needs are maybe 20% is common to everybody, but other 80% is much more personalized, individualized.
Love
Thanks to
that.
the virtual events, what happened is now we could create a 2 hour module and only 12 of the 15 people could join. They can get what they're looking for and then. So we were not wasting a lot of people's time when we go back and do short spurts of it.
I love that because you know what? One of the things we've been discussing a lot in this 12-week, 12 episode show, I hear a lot about, how to run online programs without making people fall asleep. We talked about this last
Yes.
week, didn't we, Julie? And the delivery, I think, is a little bit different because we have in-person training programs, and Jay can even attest to this because she does a lot of in-person training. You can be a little bit more, you can have a variety of movements or activities and stuff like that. Doing things virtually, it takes a little bit more creative mind thinking outside the box. So I love that you say sessions need to be split up so that people can really take time to process what they're learning. Jay, would you like to add on to that?
Okay, for me, the virtual events, companies and organizations can leverage on these, promote community engagement. So because there are many tools to facilitate interactions, so we use a lot of live stream, like YouTube, Facebook Live, to engage with one another for specific purposes and goals. Also they can use, so because of this online platform, they can leverage on live Q&As and gather
Mm,
info. So in Malaysia,
yep.
Zeb,
Hmm.
I think Amin also can agree with me, many are using Zoom to strengthen the transferable skills desired in the industry. So see, however what virtual one can use or be familiar with, well, do the necessary. Keep on developing and share knowledge, fill in the needed training gap by continuously connecting. And then we follow up with virtual meetings. Yes,
Yes.
correct. What Raja, I agree to that. One thing though, trim the presentations to emphasize the content during training. So
Yep.
break those modules into, say, like half an hour subtopics, do various engagements activities in between, to avoid screen fatigue.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And then one of the other things I was thinking about, right? Because people, me included, right? And all of you out there, don't lie to me. I know you all are like this. You only have 7 seconds attention span, right? 7 to 10 seconds attention span. By the time you go like, I'm gonna, take a Q-tip to start, cleaning my ears, or probably, I have to see my teeth if there's something in between, as a spinach, whatever, from lunch. I don't know, but we get that, right? We get the
Yes.
7 to 10 seconds attention span.
Yeah.
So one of the big things is figuring out how we deliver our programs. I mean, would you like to add to this?
I love virtual events. I just love it. Okay, I'm
That's why
gonna come
you're
from
here.
company. Yeah, that's why we are here. Um, there was resistance in the beginning, but I'm gonna talk about what's fun about it, right? From a company perspective first. What I really love about virtual event is this. For me to sell my education product, I don't have to worry about scheduling. That's the one thing that I really like, right? Enrollment can happen anytime.
Yep.
So if I were to run a normal training, I'm bound by time. That means, you know what? I need to do the training on this time, this date. I need to fill up the numbers.
Yep.
But what I really love about the changes and transition when it comes to virtual event is this. For us in Popcorn, what we do now is that in terms of enrollment, it can happen anytime, it can start anytime. That's brilliant. For
I
students,
love.
right? For students, you can learn at your own pace. Now,
Mm.
how fun is that? Okay, your
Yeah.
learning is no longer bound by the trainer's time and schedule. Now that's a cool thing about virtual event. That's what I
And I
like about it.
think that adds a lot to the fact that we can actually create video on demands for online training and create some sort of virtual event around it, and our attendees can really consume that video on demand content to help with their training. I love about that. SJ, you two work a lot with companies, organizations. What's your take on this?
I think of the entertainment factor. So I have a joke for you right now.
Okay.
Let's go
Mhm.
ahead and do the joke, because
Okay.
this is what live events are really about, is that you can pull in entertainment. So
Yes.
so here's the question, Zeph.
Yes.
How many career coaches does it take to change a light bulb?
Takes one that actually wants to change. Is that right?
That's right. That's how many it only takes one career coach
Yes.
to change a light bulb. But that lady looked like she needed more than one. Yeah, she needed more help.
She's
She had a
like,
lot of light bulbs.
she had a lot of light bulbs, right? And she's trying to figure out, like, do I change it? When do I change it? Too much thinking going on there, right? Like, hello, what's going
Exactly.
on?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
and we talk about this a lot, and Raj and I, in fact, talk about this a lot. One of the things that I think as career coaches or trainers, we ourselves in delivering our programs and how we, present or teach. One of the biggest things in leveraging virtual events is, I think, the mindset also, because it's about like, do you want to do it or you don't, right? And Raj, what did you say to me when behind the scenes, like a week ago, when we talked about like it's the mindset thing? Sometimes people don't want to do it because of yada 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 yada.
No, most of the time it is the fear or the mindset.
Yep.
One of the two is driving us. But Zeph, to your point, I wanted to share two examples what I have done in 2020 that I would have never done before COVID time.
Okay.
So there was an organization who were dedicated to helping small entrepreneurs from Africa, women entrepreneurs. They were doing somehow through a friend network. They contacted me, and we did an event for them. It was a 3-hour event, and I was so blessed, and I felt blessed that I could contribute. And there were at least women entrepreneurs from almost 36 different countries. I would have never
Wow.
been in a position to do that by myself. But somebody approached me and said, Raj, can you do that? They said for 1 hour. I said, why don't we teach them good? I will spend 3 hours and teach what I charge a lot of money for people to do. And they did the publicity, they did everything else. I just showed up and shared my knowledge. And it was such a great win-win situation.
And in a regular day, right? The fact that you have to travel to 36 countries for 36 countries for one event or one sort of training, one type of
Yes.
training, that's like out of everybody's mind, because I don't see that happening even for myself pre-pandemic days. So,
Yes.
this is like, it took, I think, and I think this is a big conversation that's taken many coaches or pretty much everyone in every industry to kind of think about leveraging virtual events since the pandemic, because we had to quickly figure out what would be the new normal for us, right? So, folks, if you're just tuning in, I just want to let you know, even if you're watching on replay, this is We Do Virtual Events Live, episode 10. We are having a conversation with this panel speakers, talking about redefining how virtual events support career development and training. And much of what we've talked about is, just how pre-pandemic, or even some of us have been leveraging virtual events for career development and training and coaching. And we were just answering the question, how can companies or organizations leverage virtual events to support career development and training? And for me, I feel like at this point of time, if you're a coach, you're a trainer, it doesn't matter, just career, executive coaching, any kind of coaching and training. And if you're not leveraging virtual training in any format, one way or another, you're going to be missing out. And Raj, I remember you used to say, change or die.
Exactly. On the same topic, can I share one more example?
Yes, absolutely.
So basically, a friend of mine teaches basically entrepreneurship for a university in India.
Mhm.
We have been playing phone tag and whatever tag for 5 years. I could never do it.
Okay. Wow.
That's a
And
long
5 years.
time.
That's a long
last
time
year,
to be playing tag.
thanks to this, what happened? He bought his whole class, and I was there for 3 hours. I was there at service, and over 400 students learned the practical application of
Well, that's
Woohoo!
Awesome.
This is you what you just shared that give me goosies because I keep telling people, and I think many of us here on this panel, we share our passion of coaching, training, teaching. I think educating is the big word for me, but I think yes, Jay, this is a big part of it, right? How many
Here we go again.
yeah,
Really?
I really like so at the end of the day it's really about the mindset to hey folks, if you're watching this live, if you're a coach or trainer, could you just say yes in the comments so that we can say hello and do a shout out to you, even if you're watching on replay, because we want the conversation to continue after this, right? Because it's just not about us here masterminding, because we want your experience, we want to hear your stories and your shares. Folks, before we continue, I just have a 10 seconds intermission and we will be right back. All right. We have such, I love the fact that this is live and sometimes things that happen in the live stages, like you're just like, if we had recorded this wouldn't have happened, right? Because we
no,
need the
no.
live element of the conversation.
yeah.
All right, folks, I'm going to go to question 2 because we have a lot of fun stuff lined up. So let's take question 2. And question 2 is, what has been your biggest resistance? Oh, I love this question. What has been your biggest resistance or challenge when delivering your virtual event? Part 1. And part 2, what did you do to overcome it? And I think this is a very important question for us to share our experiences with the audiences. Maybe it'll inspire some of you out there to start doing your own virtual event. SJ, do you want to get started?
Sure. So when I think about the biggest challenge is usually it's the technology, because there's so much. And, I mean, I just start feeling like there's no end. As soon as I learn something, then something new, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to learn that. And Zeph, don't we have some guy who can
Yes.
really illustrate to us
Yes, like
what
visually.
our average day is like? Here's our average day. Oh yeah, I can relate to him.
So as coaches, we want to try to kind of avoid this, right? All the what?
Oh my gosh, he's on speed though. He's like really fast.
Super exhausting.
But
Yes.
but that's how we feel because we're super busy. We have all this technology, and when it comes to live events, and when it comes to owning these platforms, I think I'm so grateful that you're in my life because you handle like all of our live events. I'm grateful to be able to say that. But I think it's a challenge for most companies because they just, it's a real commitment that they have to make on learning the platforms and understanding, content delivery, on the entertainment factor so we don't all fall asleep. Yeah. Now, what happened to Zeph? Did she disappear on me?
Okay, her computer.
When you go live, you get to experience all this beautiful IT gremlin stuff. We were talking about IT stuff, and here it is, right? The universe.
I was ready to take over the show.
Let's just throw something at Zeph.
I was ready to take over the show. Yeah, I was going to call on Jay next.
Folks, we're just having fun. This is what we do, as coaches and trainers. We're just like, go with the flow. We're just like superstars. We are rock stars, If something doesn't happen well on stage, we just roll with the punches.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so who's next? You wanted to call Jay? We'll put Jay up. Go, Jay. Go, Jay. Just like, time you called on me.
I remembered during the first MCO, one of the most popular questions asked was, how long will this session be? So, creating awareness was one thing, educating them on how to log in, where or what to click, once they're on that platform is another. So we kind of surpass that stage, now that majority are familiar with some of the platforms that we use. So the challenge now depends on the device that they're using. So virtual event experience, when using computer versus mobile phones. So
Mm.
human eyes wonders to have them committed in focusing content on larger screen or versus small screen. What do you think? So they are now
Jay, you just reminded me of some of the things that we had to do at our bazaar event back in May and April. So, so me and Jay are going to share answering this question. So, folks, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering, like, why the heck are we laughing? So, we're answering this question right now, and the question is, what has been our biggest resistance or challenge when delivering a virtual event, and what did you do to overcome it? For us, Jay and I realized a big part of it, like you said, Jay, technology, right? Whether it's you log in from your desktop or you log in from your mobile, we've had to do so much education along the way. Sometimes you go like, the struggle is real.
I mean,
We're like, Jay, really? The struggle is real, Jay. Because we had to, like, people, when I say folks like you out there, if you're not used to using computers or laptop, let's just say what Jay and I have realized is if you're very mobile driven, let's just say you're very WhatsApp driven. I'm saying this because this is out of our experience. This was our challenge. We had to really talk to the people we were working with on the desktop, on computer. We go like, do you see that purple button that says enter the event? And they go like, here. And we're like, yeah, just press
click here.
purple, right? And it says enter event. So you can take this mouse that you have, right? Click, see what happens. So those are some of the things that Jay and I had to figure out along the way. Thank God we knew how to like take by step, right, Jay? That was like one of
Yeah.
the hilarious experiences
But
I had.
along the way,
That was
Zeph, along
yeah,
the way we had because of the various platforms that we use, the complication level now varies with for our attendees. So now we
yeah,
made short videos to guide them, and
correct.
at times we had to integrate up to 5 6 apps to customize our virtual events, which includes like say chatbot. So we have to have a live customer service counter that follows them
Yes,
on
help desk.
wherever event screen that they're at. So we
Yeah.
can cater to any type of questions during, before and during the virtual events. That's interesting because but it helps us more become more tech savvy,
Yeah, more tech savvy, but also we had to do a lot of like work, so we became that in a way. We really did become that because we did overlook that part of things. I wouldn't say overlook, but in this world that we live in, I keep forgetting sometimes. And SJ, you've reminded me of this. My IT, level is not as some of folks out there. So I really have to take time to educate and take time, patience, and do graphs, do videos, and go like, here, this is how you do it. Yes, that purple button. Yeah, let's do a video call. You see that purple button? Yeah, just click there. So that's right there. Right? Yeah, just take your mouse, like place it, then click. So those are some of the things that we had to figure out. What about you? I mean,
um it's overcoming different belief at a different stage of your life event. um for me in the beginning, after delivering training for like more than 18 years, it's a scary thought to just be in front of a camera, which is interesting, right? For trainers, for coaches, it's for you to speak and engage in front of a stage and crowd. It's normal. You can have like 2,000, 3,000 people, not an issue, not a problem. But the moment you have a camera in front of you, things just go haywire, right? That was the beginning stage, right?
yes,
Then there's also overcoming conversations about, are people watching my show? Right? Because there are times, right, when you only have like 5 people, 3 people showing up in the show in the beginning,
Yeah.
and you have to still maintain the energy of like as if you're talking to 1,000 people.
You're like a
Right.
superstar, again, because
Yeah,
you just
have
like have
exactly,
to
right?
just put it on, right? Yes.
Yeah, you just put it on, right? So I think one of the biggest struggle is working with my own mindset and my own belief, and all of these conversations happening inside here while you're running the event. That it just happened. Like with Zaf, tech things happen, right? When that happened, you just stay cool and just, you know what, flow with it. But it has been one of the biggest challenge in terms of managing conversations, internal
How have
conversations. That's
you
what I feel.
dealt with that? What has been your way in overcoming that?
uh, the first few round was just do it, and
Mm.
acknowledging that the first few videos, the first few live is going to suck. Just that's it. Just go with the flow and take it as a lesson and a learning experience for you, because
Yep.
here's the thing about doing live show. For you to go to gear 6, you need to go to gear 1 first.
Correct. Oh, I
And gear
love
1 is one of the
that.
most,
I love
yeah,
that.
it's one of the most crucial conversations. You just have to do
The
that, right? If you
basics.
don't go to gear 1, you can't go to gear 2, gear 3, and gear
Yeah.
4, and gear 6.
Yeah.
You just have to go through the emotion. That's the way to do it.
I'm glad you brought that up, and that's like that brought me back to some of the shows that I've actually done with SJ in the past. SJ, do you
Mhm.
remember that joke I talk about panties over pants?
Yes,
It's exactly that, right?
it
Whenever
is.
people want to do all the sexy stuff and they forget the foundation of things, right? The basic of the floor of the house, and you put the wall up, and I'm just like, no, just give them that visual of panties over pants. See if they like it. And they go like, "Oh my god, that's horrible." Yeah, don't do that. So
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We don't want to see that. So I'm glad you shared that. I mean, and one of the things I've also shared, and I tell folks out there, when you start off, we all have to start somewhere. Yes, step one, gear one, right? For me, do it enough. Do it enough, even though you have to throw up through 10. When I started live broadcasting, I'm like, okay, I thought I could do this, but then I'm like, just like you. I mean, I was like, is anybody here like watching? What am I supposed to say? Like, my English is all like all over the place, and I'm like, who cares? I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna vomit, I'm gonna cry, I don't care. Then only with the practice we get better, right? So thank you for sharing
Yes,
that. I think it's very important. Raj,
it
your
was
take.
great.
So the
Yes, thank
biggest,
you.
I mean, all of you have some great points. But Jeff, I would go back to your point of change or die. Basically,
Yeah.
that has been my philosophy all through my life.
Yep.
Fortunately, in 1996, when I was an upcoming middle manager in GE, one of my mentors shared with me about the change or die, and that has been with me since then. So over 26 years so far. Very powerful, everything else. So one of the things is I changed my mindset first. In
Mm,
fact, when the whole thing hit, it was in the month of March, and I could not make it. It was a 1 week workshop. I had to go to California, and the flights for something happened, so I had to stay back. And that 1 week gave me a lot of time to reflect and think and say, okay, what do I need to change and what do I need to do?
Love it.
And that was one of the biggest thing. And that is when a lot of brainstorming came where I could change my style. It was more taxing on me because 8 to 10, I had to change something. 10:30, I had to go to a different customer and change a different topic altogether.
Oh
So
my
that
god,
was
that's
a
so true.
mindset change for me. And
Yeah.
trust me, there were days where I was on Zoom or one of the technologies for 12 to 14 hours.
Wow.
Oh,
So it looks like
wow.
Super Julie was also there as well. So
SJ.
I love what Raj is saying so much
Yeah.
because you're really taking what Darwin said about evolution.
exactly,
And
exactly.
that wasn't the smartest dinosaurs did not survive,
You're
or
right.
the
Exactly.
fastest, or the
Mm.
strongest. The ones that survived were the ones who could change.
Exactly.
It
Quickest.
Exactly.
was the ones who could evolve.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've got goosies too, Zeph. I know you normally
Yes.
give them to me,
Zap
but
Goosey.
today
Hashtag Zap
Raj gave
Goosey.
me I got goosies.
I'm gonna
Really
put it up on
amazing.
screen so you all can just go ahead and put the Zap Goosies, Zap Goosies, Zap Goosies. There you go. Boom. And I know Glow is in the house and she's laughing. And I said, you know what I mean, right? Glow. And it's all about Zap Goosies. That said, I love also this conversation because a lot of what we discuss, becomes a mastermind session right here on screen, and almost all my panel shows, they all say, "Oh my God, look at this beauty of conversation in real time," And one of the big things, I and Raj had talked about this last week. And of course, like you said, Raj, is all about the change, the evolve, right? SJ. And I used to use the analogy, if people get so complicated and like trying to do like, hey, I don't know. I'm like, listen, remember you had that black and white TV? And I go like, yeah. What made you change to TV that is colored? And they go like, yeah. Did you have a flip phone before, a rotary phone? They go like, yeah. What made you want to do about get a smartphone now? And they go like, oh, because times have changed. Exactly. So this is what we're talking about, folks. The analogy is the fact that, times are changing, that make us have to think about our options, what our new normal is, especially for those who are not used to virtual events. Just like Amin said, you have to learn. You have to go into gear 1 first before you can go into gear 5, gear 6, whatever, right? And please don't wear panties over pants, because it's really not no,
Do
no, no,
not
no,
do
we don't want
that.
that. Don't do that. We don't like
It's
that.
not
All right, folks?
comfortable.
Not comfortable at all. It's
Comfortable at
really
all.
ugly, right, Jay? Like, please, we can't unsee that. All right, I have to take a 20 seconds intermission. We'll be right back and play a game.
Explore and discover with us why virtual events are becoming more essential to what you do and how you connect with the audience. How to choose the right type of virtual event for you. What kind of tools and resources are needed to produce your virtual event? How to pick the right virtual event service providers. How to monetize and profit from your virtual event. For more exclusive content, resources, and opportunities regarding virtual events, join our online community.
All right, folks. If you're just tuning in, if you're watching on replay, we are We Do Virtual Events Live, episode 10, and I have my panelists here who are just from all over the world. Have known them for a while, and we are having a conversation about redefining how virtual events support career development and training. And if you're a coach or trainer, say yes in the comments so we can do a proper shout out to you. Now, we're gonna do a quick game. Are you ready for a game? Boom. SJ, we're gonna have a game. She's like, we gonna have a game. We like games. All right, so I'm gonna put this on screen. How we're gonna play this, folks, is really we're just gonna, have several other questions that we want to address, and we think these questions are great because they make great conversation and masterminds. I'm just gonna switch space here, place with Raj so y'all can see Raj. All right, this is how it works. I'm gonna pick the first person, and the first person I'll spin. That person will read the question and answer. Then when he or she is done, I'll spin again, and he or she will pick the next one. Cool? Are we ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Wait, let me pick who goes first. Da, 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 da. All right, I'm gonna pick Jay. Just like, me again. Sorry, Jay. All right, here we go. All right, Jay, I'll read it for you. If it weren't for COVID, would people want to work from home or even care about their career passion? What do you think, Jay?
No. They
She
would
says
want
no.
no. Because they want that actual live human interaction. Set aside the possible road traffic that we used to have. People want a proper desk and working environment, that chats at the pantry and going out for lunches with colleagues. So one thing about this pandemic, many have realized that they can be productive working from home. The challenge is different. And I believe many had overcome majority of obstacles that they had encountered in the beginning of work from home, WFH. And many too have been able to change their career into something that they actually are passionate about, like cooking, baking, and some even became tech savvy like me.
And she actually had to learn this. We'll have to find the picture and put it in social media and share. She actually had to learn how to use 2 laptops to run a virtual event. Right? She's like, yeah, open your. I forgot all about that. Yeah, she did, and she took a picture. I'm like, you actually have 2 laptops. I don't know how you do 2 laptops. I have two
but
screens.
then
She has 2 laptops.
yeah, two separate events, a different laptop at the same time.
I don't know
it's
how you do it, girl.
crazy.
I don't know how
I
you do
am
it.
not going there, Jay.
I'm not going there just yet, too. Anyways, but here's my thoughts. I love that you said that, right? Because we all learn something, and we just have to figure it out, whatever our new normal is. And I feel there's a lot of conversation around this topic where after we started opening up here in the US, there was a lot of conversation. I think, SJ, we talked about this once. We even have corporate companies rethinking if they should bring back their workforce to an actual location.
Oh, I've got a
Because
great story on that.
I know she will. That so I brought this up because I want you folks to hear out there. If you're a career coach and you feel like, you know what, I'm having Dev Goosies, if only you can see. I need to have rent a hotel room so I can do my class there. And I'm thinking, like, really? You have to pay for the location, and then you have your gas, and then you have maybe your hotel, and then you're just stressed out, and your wife and your kids just are ready to kick you out. So my thought process was like, there must be a better way, right? There must be a way. And it took a pandemic to teach some of us coaches and trainers that, hey, there's another way of doing things. Jay, I'm going to let you share this.
Well, I think we would have gotten here, but we were taking a very slow boat from Malaysia to get to, doing things remotely.
Yes.
And this is everyone's office now.
Yes.
This is everyone's office. This was everyone's office before, but people didn't know that this was their office. And I usually live in Seattle, Washington. And I have a lot of friends who work for Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and they've all told me the same thing. I'm not going back to the stinking office.
Love it.
I'm going to quit my job.
They're not going to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
So, right. Yeah. Exactly. And so in the US, we're going through right now what's called the Great Resignation. It is expected that approximately 95% of the working population is going to quit their job in the next 18 months. It's going to create a lot of havoc for the US when this happens. Already 4 million people have quit their jobs.
I agree.
Wow.
So one of the biggest conversation has been, right, because they've seen this, they've studied this as a statistic during COVID and a little bit post-COVID, like we're 18 months into it, right? So what people, even companies, training companies, what they've realized, productivity did not really change that much. In fact, in some industries, productivity increased.
Oh, yeah.
Went up. I'm having goosies. I have goosies. Somebody here is asking why. I don't know who you are, but if you can let us know what you're asking, the why, so we can answer your question appropriately.
Maybe they're asking, why did productivity go up?
No,
well,
I think
do you want to? That's Raj. Raj deals a lot with productivity. Do you want to take that question, Raj?
Sure. Basically, when you're going back and working remotely, one, you're not forced to work from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever your time is. So what happens is, if you look at it as human people, we have our own strength zone where we work with. See, like I'm a night owl. I can work very well until 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
My wife is an early morning. So that is what happens.
I've seen like 1 and 2 in the morning. Like I'm like, he's not asleep yet.
No, but again, that is what happened. So now this was the first time they were not forced to work when everybody's working or go to an office.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 kids, both are working. And I told them, why do you want to live in an apartment? So both of them came home and they stayed with me, which was a huge blessing for them and for my wife and for me.
But I think also you're not doing a commute.
Exactly.
So your commute is from your bed to your desk.
Yeah.
You can eat the food that nourishes you. You're not having to go out with friends and spend money. And that sometimes will take you into a nap.
Yep.
If you eat the wrong food, or maybe if you do take a nap, when you wake up, you're like, now I'm ready to get down to work.
Yes.
So
The other
it's
thing,
changed the
SJ,
way that we behave.
yes,
Yeah.
I
So
love that you say
my
that.
son really loves golf. So in the morning,
Mm.
basically, he doesn't start until 10. He gets up at 6:30. He's in the golf course. He finishes his golf, comes back at 10, and he's working until 10 in the night again. 12 hours.
There you go.
Exactly. Two-part conversation I want to kind of share is that one, right? What we've done by working home for some of us who probably, I know in KL, where Jay and Amin are, they probably travel 1 hour one way to go to a destination, right? So they get to save 2 hours by working from home. That 2 hours, if they're family people, they can now use that 1 hour, 2 hours for something that they've always wanted to do with family. It could be sitting down at the dinner table. I'm having goosies. Hey, Zap Goosies is in the house. All right. Zap Goosies. And the other part is like, we are working, productivity has increased because we are working when we're optimum, not
Yes.
when the business is optimum, not when the office is optimum. It's when we're optimum, right? Because we all have different times of day that we perform best. And I think working our optimum level is a really a great example of this working, online.
So you save
Yeah.
time and you save
Yes.
money.
Yes.
You
And
know, it's
I just
yeah.
go ahead. I mean,
Okay. The interesting part is this, yeah. In 2017, 2018, I actually took a break from work. I was traveling on my bicycle and I was working remotely. So I was going around Southeast Asia with my wife on a bicycle with our laptop. Whenever where there's an internet cafe, we'll just stop and do our work, right? Back then, it was so difficult to get people to just attend a Zoom meeting. I was in Thailand and I have like people coming to me and say, "Can we meet face to face? Can you just fly back here so that we can meet?" When the technology is already there, then it's quite interesting that even with the push that we have because of COVID, a lot of people are still resisting to do this, right? So I also answering to this question from one of the users. So all panelists agree that there will be a big revolution in the nature of work in the future, and it's starting now. It's not starting now. It's already started.
yeah,
Okay?
I was just gonna say
Right?
that. Thank you for
It's
saying
way
that. I
back,
mean,
right?
thank you.
Yeah, you got to start. If you have not started,
It
you
has
better do it
already
now.
started.
But now,
Yes.
Yeah,
But
Now,
I want to
and
clarify one point there here for
yeah.
everybody.
go ahead.
Basically, based on my research and what I have studied, 25% of the complete, at least I'm talking from US, they can be worked remotely. The other 75 people have to be in the place. In any manufacturing plant, you cannot work remotely. The manufacturing facilities, people have to work. In the restaurants, people have to be there. So that 25% revolution, I agree with you, Amin and Super Julie, that all of that has happened and everybody's moving in at different levels.
true.
Yeah.
In the manufacturing world and stuff, we need to see how that revolution is, and that will be changed and will be different, but how we don't know yet.
Yeah,
A lot of automation, a lot of things are there,
they're
and
figuring it out.
the change is happening, but it is not as significant as this 25. So I want to clarify that for everybody.
Okay.
Thank you
Agreed.
for doing that
Agreed.
too, Raj. I love
Thanks,
that you
Raj.
say that. Yeah. One thing that came to mind as everyone's sharing is this, right? So one of my personal experiences here in the US actually is happening like what you said. I mean, it's actually happening. We just maybe are not the pockets of us who are not realizing the change has happened. You just need to do more of this. Let's just say you just need to be around us more. One of the things here in the US, because I attend a lot of networking events, we had so many groups that had to use online meetups or Zoom, any kind of virtual event tools to meet during pandemic. I would say only 25% has really gone back to in person. One of the big reasons, especially in the networking space, is that what they've realized during pandemic and by doing virtual events, it actually has opened and widened their scope to meeting new people, not only locally, not only nationally, but the world. That is what we call evolve. I'm having Zap Goosies right now. Anyway, I just want to say Glow here says saving on gas and our time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Aaron right here says, Raj, you are on the spot, brother. Thank you, Aaron and Glow, for sharing with us. I just want to go to do one more. And I actually think you can call on somebody after this, after my spin. All right, Jay. So here I go. Boom. Jay, if you could read it and pick the person you want to answer this question.
What is one type of virtual event that you have hosted or organized, and how did you use it to meet your event goals? I mean,
Boom. I mean, you're on the spot.
Okay. So last year I have we started a show called Just Langga, right? So we go live once a week, but now I go live 3 times a week. So what happened is that we actually utilize the function of groups. So on Monday we run our show. It's not really a show; it's actually a training session online in our special Facebook group. And then on Wednesday we run our own coaching program in our paid group. And on Thursday, what we do is that we run our Just Langga show as an authority building show. So
Wow.
the way how you have benefit this is this: Monday is our cash flow.
Love it.
Wednesday is our
Take
actual
notes,
training.
people. Take notes.
Take note, people. Right. Wednesday is our actual work. Thursday is our authority building activity.
Wow.
That's how it's benefit us.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
that's right.
yeah, it's very focused.
You got
Very
me
focused.
on cash flow day.
Exactly.
That's right.
And I
So,
think what you just demonstrated and shared with us is the fact that this can be done easily if you actually think a little bit outside the box, try it out, and figure out what your new normal of delivery would be like, right? And
yeah,
figure
exactly.
all the boxes that you need to create in order to do this with less stress. You can actually leverage more, what should I say, activities and make more moolah, right? Instead
Yep.
of spending time traveling and you get stressed out and you start shouting at everybody. You're like, oh my gosh, leave me alone. No, we don't want you to do that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a perfect a perfect example for me as a career coach or trainer that there are other ways of delivering your programs, of sharing your knowledge, right, and experiences, and sharing educational knowledge so that you don't have to stress out, but at the same time you can make money, right? You can save time, you can have some kind of balance. All it needs is, what did we say, Julie? SJ?
One more time. I couldn't hear you.
What do we say? We have to just share this video because otherwise people don't get it. For some of you who are just tuning in, like, what are they talking about? So this.
It's change or die. It's
Yeah,
change or die.
And you said how many coaches?
How many career coaches does it take to change a light bulb?
One.
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 But the light bulb's gotta really want to change.
Boom.
I love change. I love change or die. I'm gonna get that
Change or die.
tattoo.
All right, I'm gonna do a little quick 10 seconds, and we'll be right back before we kind of wrap this up. Be right back, folks. All right, we have a few minutes left, but I just want to go around the room, like a quick under a minute, kind of share your thoughts about the future of virtual events in career development and training. Do you see a future of just virtual, or a combination of in person and virtual, which is just hybrid? And just share your thoughts about what it would look like probably in a year or two down the road. Raj, would you start us off?
Sure. I think the biggest piece of that would be an hybrid organization, especially when they're doing a lot of the strategy kind of things. It will be trying to be more in-person piece of it. But for everything else, predominantly, it was going to be an hybrid or virtual events. I think everybody's moving towards that.
Change or die.
Yes.
Jay, you see this a lot in the event space. What's your thoughts?
Future in-person events, the risk is higher for organizer. So definitely the size will be smaller and adhering to the SOPs will be mandatory. So, but then, however, see, you have to understand and accept that virtual events is in and that hybrid will stay relevant for not just 1, 2 years, many years to come.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yep, that's my take.
I love it. Love it. Thank you. Boom. I mean,
Okay, I might have a different answer for this. For me,
we
rather
love
than
different.
focusing on, yeah, rather than focusing on either it's going to become a hybrid or a total online, what you need to do now at this moment is to build a community that will follow you no matter what you do later. That's more important. So if it's going to go hybrid, great. If it's not, you will never know. I can't predict what's going to happen in the next 2 3 years.
Yeah.
But if you have a
Love it.
followers, you have people who are following you because of what you do. No matter what you do after
Your
this,
value
they will still follow you.
and your value.
Yeah.
Yeah, value.
I love it. Boom. SJ.
Boom.
Boom.
I think I agree with everybody in the hybrid. I think that that's where we're going to end up because I need to be around people that is more than on screen. So, I actually want to have coffee with Jay. I'm thinking if, when you're in Seattle, stop on by and I'll buy you a cup. But I also think we're living in a very interesting time in our lives.
Mhm.
This is the time that all of us can take whatever the content is. By the way, I've been taking notes for what everyone has been saying. I always take
Love it.
really a lot of
Once
notes.
a coach, always a coach, right?
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a great idea that you've all shared. But I think, we're coming to a time where our content, the way that we deliver it, we have so many opportunities to do this in this remote world. And it will go further. It will meet people all around the world. And it is the time that we can really love what we do in a way and make money and still be at home with our families and see our kids off to school or pet our dogs or, love our significant others. It gives us that flexibility that we've never had. I'm a digital nomad and I have been for a long time. And I just think that more people are going to be doing what we have all experienced so far. So it's exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting. I agree. And this is my take. But before that, I just want to do a quick shout out to Janice Drew Bennett, who's watching in our main live stage. Janice is going to be on our trade panel on August 25th, which is our last panel. And Janice, I'm looking forward to your panel because you have a lot of great stuff too. Here's my take, right, on where I see this future of virtual or hybrid. One of the biggest thing I know for now is this. If I'm going to leave you any nuggets of wisdom at all, this would be it. Don't get stuck with the old ideas. Be flexible enough to take on new concepts, new ideas, so that we all can grow together as times change. Because as times change, if we don't at least roll with the punches, one of our speakers on the panel 2 weeks ago, Dr. Tachi says, if you don't roll with the punches, you get punched. Boom. And I love that. And as for Raj, you've shared, if you don't evolve and change, you will die. And I love that because the change and die is so, contrasting that you go like, oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
eventually the black and white TV will go away. Eventually those flip phones are going to go away. What will you do? So that's what I will leave you all with this because in what I and Jay do when we do all these virtual events, a lot of it has to do with mindset because there's a lot of resistance because it's virtual. People love the fact that, hey, I want to high five you in person. Hey, I want to kiss and hug you. But that couldn't happen during the pandemic. And we all had to scatter and figure out what the new normal is.
Yeah.
So my take and my experience from my personal experience is like, if you just want to stay in that mole and not grow, be it. But if you just give yourself a little chance to change, or be open to some new ideas, hey, you never know where that may lead you. Boom! I am so happy to have
Okay.
all four of you. I'm so sad Dr. Aziza finally actually messaged me. She isn't feeling well, so she apologizes. She says she hoped to see us at the next event. Speaking of the next event, I just want to share this with all of you. Save this date, everybody. We have on September 15 a global virtual networking expo, which is the spin-off event, virtual event of We Do Virtual Events Live. Ideally, we are, inviting all of you who are maybe business owners, educators, and event organizers. And if you're like figuring things out, like, should I be doing virtual events? How will this work for me? Blah, blah, blah. Well, you just need to be there. And that is again September 15th. It's from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. New York time. And no, we will not be doing this on Zoom. That disclaimer quickly. So I would not make you sit down for hours and hours on Zoom. No, we're going to have entertainment. We're going to have great presenters. We're going to have game shows. Going to have fireside chats. You just have to come and make it. And where do you go for that? That website is We Do Virtual Events Live. I'm going to put it right here so you can actually go and get more information. Hopefully, we'll see you on September 15th. But before that, I just want to say thank you to my panelists here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Zach.
Time. I told you we won't do boring. We just don't do boring. We just love to have fun. We're all lit. We're rock stars. Anyways,
Yeah.
folks, thank you all for tuning in. This has been the episode of We Do Virtual Events Live. We hope you will come and join us at we do virtual events.live and get all the information of upcoming virtual events. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, everybody.